Welcome to all of our coaching clients. A little different type of daily message today. I'm recording a short program. I don't know if it's going to take 15 or 30 or 35 minutes, as I've not done it before in this format, and give you 15 different ideas on how to improve productivity, not only in the second quarter of this year, but in the balance of 2025. So I titled it 15 Necessary Skills to List and Sell in Higher Volume. Number 1, learn to master a 90-day production program. Learn to master a 90-day production program. You've heard us talk about this over the years time and time again. I wrote down a question underneath this point. Can you put in 5 productive days a week for 3 straight months, which would be 20, 30, 60 days of productivity? And what would the results be that you would expect if you put in a very intense Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you did that virtually for 3 straight months? Would you see an increase? Would you see a little bit more leads generated? Would you see more listing presentations? Number 2, since it's true that we become like the people we associate with, this is such a vitally important point. Since it's true that we become like the people we associate with, who am I spending my time with, and are they a positive or negative influence on my business and my life? The hardest part of life is separating yourself from negative people. Very common that you could be the only positive influence among a group of people you hang out with, and they like being with you because you're a positive influence, but at the same time, they will have a negative effect on your thinking, and therefore your behavior, therefore your activities, therefore your results. Number 3, people are motivated by recognition, security, and money. What motivates you, and can you use it to your advantage? Be very careful not to spend your money on trying to get recognition, as somebody will always outspend you. We think in real estate, instead of talking to people, I'll just do more personal promotion. And personal promotion always has a positive effect. But a conversation is going to have a much stronger effect. And you can get a lot of recognition, security, and money through conversations with people. Number 4, my greatest asset is being an independent contractor. However, it is my largest liability. I've never quite understood why we think not having rules, guidelines, goals, business plans, superiors operating with us, strong coaching, etc. I've never understood why we don't all do that kind of thing on a regular basis, because very few people do. We take the independent contractor idea, which allows us to do what we want, to often do what we don't want in terms of results. Number 5, make it a point to show up, critically important. Pay attention when you show up. Tell the truth when you show up, and don't be attached to the outcome. So this I got from Earl Nightingale, 55, 60 years ago when I was in my early 20s. He said, if you show up every day to do your job, and you pay attention to what's going on, not only with your plans for the day, your daily schedule, etc., and then you tell people the truth. Yes, we can, or no, we can't, and that's my belief. And then we don't be attached to their response or the outcome of the conversation. We're going to have a much stronger and much better lifestyle and production, and that's the name of the game. Number 6, anybody can become a superstar in real estate through education. Are you continually educating yourself as a method of expanding your business? I wrote down seminars, workshops, mastermind groups, accountability partners, podcasts, books, or the books that you're reading, coaching that you're taking. Education is expanding the mind. Education is getting new thoughts into your head. Education is allowing you to move out of your comfort zone and out of a point of complacency, which often takes place in the real estate business. Number 7, it really doesn't matter what your experience is as long as you have an intense desire to succeed and a willingness to keep learning the sales skills required. For example, the skill of prospecting. For example, the skill of effective lead follow-up. For example, the skill of strong pre-qualifying, where you're listening to the answers to what they say. And then the skill of making a great presentation. Because that presentation is a reflection not only of you and what you can do for them, but it's a reflection of your personality, of the strength of who you are, and it's a reflection on the company that you work with. The stronger the presentation you make, the better the results that you get. Number 8, work to understand 3 words: attitude, approach, and expectations, and make them the keys to building your business. So I wrote down the following. You can control your thoughts on each of these 3 words. Your attitude, how you feel, how you see, how you respond to a person, a situation, or something that's taking place in your life. And it's always positive or negative. Approach, and of course the approach is the professional opinion that they would have of you after you've talked to them. Everything from, are your fingernails clean? Are your shoes shined? Are you wearing a suit and tie? Is your hair combed? Do you have a smile on your face? Are you positive or negative? Are you standing up straight and erect? This is all part of the approach. We have to remember that we're being judged all the time by the public when we're out representing ourselves in terms of the real estate business. So attitude, approach, and expectations. Number 9, skills are critical. However, skills with energy and enthusiasm bring the clients into what you're saying at a much faster pace. I've always said, if I have on my left hand, I have the skills, and on my right hand, I have energy and enthusiasm, and I bring them together, I'm going to be a powerful force in terms of my presentation. But you can have great skills, no energy and enthusiasm, and you lose a lot of that force that you have. But if you had energy and enthusiasm with limited skills, that would be a much more attractive to a potential buyer and seller. That would be a much more attractive characteristic, but having both and bringing them together is the name of the game. So skills are critical. Skills with energy and enthusiasm bring the clients into what you're saying a lot faster. Number 10, and this is sometimes a tough one, work to narrow the gap between listing presentations if you really want to improve the quality of your listing presentation. So think about it this way. You're going on one listing presentation a month, which, if you're good at what you do and you go on 12 a year and you get 6 listings taken and they all sell, you have a reasonable cash flow income. But think about it this way. How good can you be if you're doing it once a month? Then some people say, well, what happens if I do it once a week? Well, you're a little bit sharper, you're a little bit more aware, you're a little more cognizant of the market conditions, of how people are responding to your presentation. If you're doing it a couple times a week, 7 to 8 times a month, and taking even a closing percentage of 50%, you're getting 4 listings a month, which I believe every good real estate salesperson can take 4 listings a month, if the goal is to become a stronger listing agent. But you have to narrow the gap between the time you spend on a presentation, because if the gap is too wide, that energy and enthusiasm that you have, the skills that you've developed, start to wane and disappear. Number 11, doing well in good times does not make me a great salesperson. However, doing well in a declining market can make me a great agent if I keep sharpening my skills. Sharpening your skills is a full-time job that is part of our career for life. We always have to get better. A pilot, commercial pilot, they virtually are trying to perform at a higher level every time they fly a plane. A doctor or a surgeon is trying to perform at the highest level and researching and studying to do that. A good, strong attorney is always sharpening their skills by reading the latest cases to see how it applies to the case they are handling at that time. So the good times, we can all do well. Post-COVID, that 15 to 18 months with a couple million additional buyers in the marketplace made everybody look like superstars. But the truth was, it was market-driven versus skill and agent-driven. So doing well during a declining market can make me a much better agent as long as I keep sharpening my skills. Number 12, strengthen the link. And this came from a great agent down in Florida, Fahad Assad. Strengthen the link between the daily activity of prospecting and achieving the goals that you've set. If the link is strong between communicating and talking to people, finding people that want to buy and sell, if your strength and if your connection is strong between finding people and achieving what you want to achieve over here financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, family-wise, etc., it's going to be much easier and much more effective for you to do it. Number 13, you'll love this one. High emotion and drama never work in building a long-term productive real estate business. I'll never forget San Diego, California. I'm doing an event, and at the lunch break, one of the ladies, who is a very well-known lady, said, "Can I join me for lunch?" And I said, "Of course." So we're sitting having a sandwich, and she goes, "I have to take this call real quick." I said, "No problem." And she got on the call and she said, "Listen, I've taken care of the problem. The problem's, it's all taken care of. I saw it coming in advance. You have nothing to concern yourself with. Your deal's going to close on time. Everything is okay. All right, see you later, hang up." I said, "Wow, it sounds like you saved a deal." No, I just use that as part of my routine to let them know how important I am to making the transaction work. I said, "Why would you do it that way?" "Well, it just seems to work for me. If I add a little emotion and drama, I get their attention a little faster." I actually said to her, that is not the style of sales skills that a professional person uses. She wasn't a client for very long, obviously. Number 14, and I've seen this often, agents who earn a lot of money for a year or two and then spend 20% more than what they earn don't understand the value of having a budget and following that budget to invest your money properly and take care of yourself. A commission check for $20,000-$25,000 is not $20,000 to $25,000 of spendable money to the agent. Taxes, expenses, etc. On $25,000, you probably have spendable of $10,000 to $12,000 to $14,000. But if you're spending $25,000, you're going to be desperate. It's going to affect your attitude. It's going to affect your work ethic. So understand the value of money and making sure that the money that you're making is being taken care of properly. And last point, number 15, remember both mental and physical strength is a key to becoming very good at doing a lot of presentations. It takes a lot of work to do 2 to 3 presentations, whether it be buyer or seller, in an average week. But if you think about it, you're putting in 40, 45 hours a week. In 40, 45 hours, can you find one person that wants to buy or sell real estate in your community? And if you can, and you have the skills to convert them through lead follow-up, pre-qualify them effectively, and set and take and do a strong presentation, you're going to succeed in the second quarter as well as succeed in 2025 at a higher level. So that's my message for today. A little different style in terms of how we are going to present our daily message. Enjoy it. You can keep it. You can watch it. You can listen to it. You can delete it. You have options. Choose the right ones. Talk to you tomorrow.